with decimals is something that we have done before, and so I'm not going to take long with it. I'm going to do one step, adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing. Remember our one-step equations. But this time we're just going to throw decimals in. So let's say I had C plus 9 equals 18.7. Remember our objective in the one-step equations is to get the variable by itself. So how do I get rid of a positive 9? With a negative 9 on both sides. But just make sure, what do we do when we're adding and subtracting? Line up the decimals, fill in with zeros. Remember, positive and negative 9 give me 0. Leaves me with just C equals. Now, what do I do with a positive and a negative? I'm going to subtract. Bring down my decimal. 7 take away 0 is 7. I can't take 9 from 8, so I'm just going to borrow. So technically it's just going to be 18 minus 9 is 9. And the largest absolute value is 18.7. So my answer is C equals 9.7. So let's do another one. Let's say I had n plus 1.75 equals 4.36. I've got to solve for the variable. How do I get rid of a positive 175? A negative 175. Where at? Both sides. Line up your decimals. Positive and negative cancel. Leaves me with just n equals. Once again, your decimals are lined up. Bring down your decimal. What do you do with a positive and a negative? You're going to subtract. So 6 take away 5 is 1. Going to borrow here. 13 take away 7 is 6. 3 minus 1 is 2. The largest absolute value is 4. So my final answer is n equals 2.61. Now, does that work the same in the subtraction part? Let's say I had negative 2.5 equals m minus 1.7. Well, I just have the variable on the other side, which I don't really like, but that's okay. I can still solve it the same way. I've got to get the variable by itself. So what will I get rid of? A negative 1.7 with a what? A positive. Negative and a positive cancel. Leaves me with m equals. Now, what do I do with a positive and a negative? I'm going to subtract. So I know I'm going to bring down my decimal. 15 take away 7 is 8. That's going to be 1. Take away 1 is 0. I can put the 0 or I can leave it out. And the largest absolute value will be the negative. Well, this works the same way in multiplication and division. 7.2 equals 3.6x. Remember, our objective is to solve for the variable. How do I get the x by itself? How do you undo multiplication? You divide both sides by the coefficient. Those cancel. Leaves me with x equals. Now, remember, I have to move it over once in the divisor to make that whole, so I'll have to move it in the dividend. So all I have now is 72 divided by 36, which is 2. And the last one, as we wrap this up, we will do a division. W divided by 2.8 equals 4. How do you undo division? Well, remember, what's the inverse? Multiplication. I will multiply both sides so I can get that W by itself, 2.8. Those cancel. W equals 4 times 2.8. Remember, in multiplication, just line up your digits. Multiply, that's 32. Whoops. That's 8. 8 plus 3 is 11, so it's going to be 112. And how many times? 1 place behind it. So my final answer is 11.2. I hope you enjoyed your decimal video and didn't critique me too bad. Till next time.